Welcome back to 316 Soccer Show. Peter Espinosa, Cliff Brown, Blake Shoemaker, and now joining us, your head coach of the Wichita Wings, LeBaron Hollimon. LeBaron, you've done a ton of interviews with me, but thanks for doing another one, buddy.
No problem.
All right, first of all, we just got back from talking about the game at the Sprint Center. Wings win 10-9. Let's start out initially. You got there. Blake was saying the turf was, granted they had to move everything, so there was bound to be some shifts in the turf or the boards. And, it was kind of hiked up in some of the corners. And what were your thoughts when you got there? Clearly it was going to be okay, but, what were your thoughts when you saw the turf?
Oh, I just looked at it and thought, okay, this is going to be a problem for Sinaldo because that ball wasn't going to come off the boards true. And we actually have a free kick where we play it off the boards, and now I was thinking, okay, that play might not be on either.
And now at the end there, when Tenike scored the eventual game-winning goal with a little bit over 3 to go, you had a different angle from, Blake and I were on this side, you were on the other side. What did it look like from there? Did he hit it clean?
I got to be honest with you, I didn't see it. I didn't see it because I was talking to a player because we were talking about getting sixth attacker set up. So I was looking at my lineup sheet, getting sixth attacker, and all of a sudden we go nuts, and I see Kevin laying on the ground. So
have you seen the replay since then?
I haven't even seen a replay yet.
No replay yet.
We'll I don't want to spoil it because I heard it was brilliant.
They haven't archived the game yet, and I didn't shoot any video from there, so I don't think we have any at this point, except we're just waiting on the MISL at this point.
And the worst part was during the stream, I'm watching it online. They said they talked about it, and they were going to go back and show it again because they showed all the goals. They never showed it again. So we're stuck. We never got a second
goal
look
you
at
don't get to see again, the game winner.
And then at the very end, they showed all the goals as they're closing it down, as they're finishing off the show. And they never got to that goal. They never got to the winning goal.
Oh, man.
So I haven't had a chance to review it either. So
yeah, I haven't seen it. I heard it was something special, though.
It was a great goal as far as I could tell on my phone.
And it was, it was kind of against the run of things because he's, back to the goal. The ball kind of presented itself near him, and he just turned on it. And like Cliff said, it wasn't an overhead cycle. It was sideways.
Well, the turf that LeBaron wanted to cut feeds him a ball that puts backspin on it long enough time for him to track it and finish.
You all have seen that little training tool, the wave.
Yeah.
That's what it was.
It was, absolutely.
He just played it off the wave, and there it was.
Well, if it hadn't been made yet, we could have patented it.
There you go.
Well, because it was run a play, like I said, that's why I didn't see it, because I was getting set up for sixth attacker, because it didn't look like much, and next thing I know, boom, goal, and so right away from sixth attacker offense, getting set up to sixth attacker defense.
And now the retro game at halftime presented. It was kind of funny to see some of those guys come out because everybody would cheer when somebody came out, but when one of the guys would come out and he was a little bigger than he used to be, you kind of go, oh.
Now we have a little bit of video. We have a little. Since that's the word we're using. We have a little bit of video of that up until they said tattoo and he waddled out, almost like a penguin. And I said, cut it.
I don't think he was the only one that waddled out.
He missed a one-on-one when he ran by me. I was pretty close to the pitch. When he ran by, I said, "Thank God you didn't have to take off your shirt." Because remember that was his thing.
Yeah,
he just kind of looked over after the game. He waved.
Right.
Yeah, but
he knew this.
He's a beautiful man.
Yeah.
He's a really nice guy. I used to go down to his camps down in Athens, Texas over the summers. Great guy. Wonderful guy to work with. So I'm not going to say so many bad things, other than the fact that those guys were probably all at least 15 to 20 years younger than me, and they all had more fat on them than I do.
Yeah, it was.
I was in shock when I saw those guys.
They grew up.
Yeah, no,
they really grew up.
They grew out.
Schwab was a big guy. Schwabi was a big guy back in the day. But
yeah, he was a big guy now.
He's a big guy.
Yeah.
And now at halftime, Kim Rutbed came out for maybe a 2-minute shift, put on some boots, and came out there. Didn't do much. They were playing 7-on-7, 8-on-8, so he kind of got lost in there with all the players.
He's still in a suit.
He's still in it. Well, he took off his suit jacket, had his shirt and tie on, and then you came out and were standing there. There were some players talking to you. You said they weren't trying to urge you on to get out there. Did you want to get out there?
No, I thought about going, but my mindset honestly was I didn't want my team to think that I was focused more on that game than our game. So I made a decision not to play. But no, it was good. I was just talking to them, having fun, seeing everybody again.
And it was, as I was on the radio talking to Ryan Woodman, we said, it might get ugly if LeBaron gets out there. Because, I'm sure there was a few out there that were in shape, but now you're in shape, and you probably would have dribbled circles
He's a fourth of the way to anybody on the pitch.
So he might get hurt.
Yeah, there we go. That was a possibility.
I played with him. He had a few injuries back in the day in Tulsa.
Don't get me started.
Which, just
there.
to point out, I brought him a Tulsa ambush shirt up here just to remind him of the days that we played together down there.
One of the only times I've ever liked a green jersey.
You like something down there?
I had to. It was my first professional gig, so.
Also coached by a Wichita wing, right? Victor
Moreland, yep.
Yep. Pedro DeBrito was assistant
Pedro.
coach.
Had Barry Wallace down there, former wing.
Yeah.
Who else was down there? Seems like
former wings, Pedro.
That might be it.
I think that was it. That was former wings, because there was a lot of rookies such as
a lot
myself.
of local guys. Stevie Hayes, who now is the coach at Oral Roberts. Mark McIntosh's brother Tom is the coach at Tulsa.
Yeah.
So yep.
So the Wings win 10-9, and pretty much more than half the team stayed in Kansas City to see some friends and family. And on the way back, it was a little lonely. But moving on, a player that will be added at some point, Kareem Yearwood, the newest signing. And make it clear, he's not Chiller's replacement. He's a kid for the future, right?
Right. He's definitely a kid for the future. My goal is to try and build this team. Build a team so that within 3 years' time, we're looking at 80, if not 90% of the team has been in place for 2 to 3 years. I'm a firm believer that if you keep the revolving door, you never get an identity, you never get a rhythm. So we want to try and build that into what we're trying to do.
And now he graduated college at Charleston in 2010. He played for the Jacks Destroyers down in Florida. He's a native of Trinidad and Tobago. Now, I asked Jamie this last night on the ride home. I said, can he be an indoor player? Is he the type that, I know he's only played outdoor, how long is his evolution going to take to where he's ready to see some playing time?
I'm gonna compare his evolution to Mulai, Alarji Joe. And if you remember when he first came in, he kind of looked out of place, had the skill, looked out of place. But if you look at where he is now with how he's picked the game up, I fully expect Kareem to take that kind of path to getting acclimated to the indoor game.
Kareem seems to have a little bit of an advantage, obviously. A lot of people didn't know, but Kareem attended the black and orange scrimmage early on. Went home after that, and for now, going on 4 weeks, he's been here training with your team. So you're not bringing in a guy that you don't know.
Right.
You got a guy who's been training with you for a month, and a lot like that. It's actually size. He's not Mulai's height, Job's height, but he is 6'2", 170. He's fit. He's got some height, some youth. So absolutely could.
Well, and you look at how Edvin plays. You're going to see that in Kareem as well. He's got that sort of athleticism. He knows the game. What we've got to get him to do is to learn the indoor game.
I think he's a great signing, though, as well. From a personal standpoint, I've had a few conversations with him, and he seems like a really good kid. So I know Wing supporters, Orange Army people, they're going to love this guy.
I certainly hope so. Yeah, we do. I know we do. We're excited, especially when you look at it from a building standpoint. We're excited with what we have to build from.
And now it was between he and Mulai for the last spot after the black and orange scrimmage. Now, talking about Mulai and Tijani, both their statuses, both missed the game due to hamstring injuries this past weekend. And now Tijani was a possibility, but you felt confident enough in the team that you could put out there to beat Missouri, and you wanted to save him for the 3-game home stretch in Milwaukee. Are both of them going to be ready, or are they both still questionable? I
would say Tijani has probably moved up to probable, and Mulai is probably questionable still. They trained lightly today, not heavy full training, and so we'll put them into a more strenuous test tomorrow and see where they are.
Tell us a little bit about Tijani's performance when he'd been gone forever. Seems like it almost seems like we missed him the whole year.
Yeah.
Lose a couple hard games with him, but he, talking to him off the field, he wants to be a leader on this team, and he is.
Yeah.
He's that kind of guy, and he's got that kind of attitude. He comes out and shows it with this play with a knee brace on, coming back from a heart injury, and maybe overdid himself. But keeping him off the field, that wasn't going to happen, right?
No. It wasn't keeping him off the field because he was actually cleared 2 weeks prior and he wanted to go. But you guys know what I do. You can't just come back in and play. So we gave him another week of hard training. But yeah, that game he came back. He was at times man amongst boys, not because of his physical stature, but because of how he put himself about that game.
Oh, you watch him. Even coming off the bench. He'd come off the bench, boom. He wants the ball. He's demanding it.
Right.
He's taking charge. He's telling Sinaldo to give it to him a few times and directing the play. We talked about it quite a bit.
On the radio, we got it. He just refused to say no. Even when he
said no,
was a little bit off balance, and kind of lost possession.
Well, the one assist.
He'd go back and get it again.
Right.
And it was incredible and just fun to watch.
His goal was evident
that. The goal was that way, but also the assist to Freddie where he just plowed through. He plowed through 2 tackles, and I said he said no to every one, and he was already fatiguing at that point a little bit.
Correct.
His stride was a little bit off, but he refused to give into it, and he forced his way through, and he got that ball in the back post, and it was to me, in spite of having already scored a goal, the things that he did, that was a critical goal for you at the time, but it was a huge statement about who and what he is as a player,
Right.
and what he's going to add to this team.
And that sort of stuff is infectious.
Yes.
Those are the sort of things that that the guys around him see, and then it just spreads. So it was good having him back, and in more ways than just the soccer abilities and everything.
And quickly off of Mulai, what's his goal? 3-pointer?
Mulai's goal?
Yeah. Oh no, excuse me.
Tijani's goal was a 3-pointer. It was a 3-pointer. We watched it on video.
Changed the game.
That would have changed the game.
Absolutely.
Correct.
We were talking about his will and his leadership. How about at the end, seconds left, we have to have a 3 to tie, and he takes it from his own defensive third yellow line and gets a shot at balls bouncing, going through tackles, balls bouncing. He takes it off a hop above his knee and nearly puts it on goal. The keeper's beat. It was wide, but again, at the end of the game, playing hurt, had already tweaked that thing again, and he played through that and then went down and laid down. It does say a lot about him. It was a great performance.
Now, a couple more things. There's been some talk of some sort of the word hooligan is kind of a word that's looked down upon, but a supporter section, like in Sporting. Like Sporting has a great supporter section, and in Milwaukee they sort of have a supporter section, but a tie up in the rafters behind the goal.
They do,
and it's like 4 or 5 people with 10 drums.
Right,
they're just sitting there banging on drums, and I can't even hear them during the game. Thoughts on bringing something like that to Hartman?
I've been at the Sporting games, and I think most of us here have been. The Calderon is what they're called.
The Calderon, yeah.
Fantastic, and if we can get something like that here, all the power to do it, because it is amazing having that sort of energy, because when you're tired and then you look and you hear that, you find that little extra to either get forward or get back, go to the ground, make the block, and then they're going nuts. It really is, if we can get something like that, power to it.
That's something the fans don't really understand, I think, sometimes, how much they can add to the game.
That's a part of the
game. How much they
Everywhere.
can lift.
Yeah.
All worldwide.
Yes.
You go to Europe, England, they're singing, they're lifting, they're cheering. That atmosphere in Hartman, when it gets rocking, it's rocking. It takes me back to the days when we had the old Coliseum full with 9,000 people every game, and they're doing our version of the wave all the way around. There was one game when we were playing New York, and at halftime they kept it going the entire game. We could hear it in the locker room. The entire game, they kept it going from section to section to section, and we came out and beat them the second half.
Right.
It lifted. You can't lose them when you have that kind of support.
You can't, because then you're doing things for somebody other than yourself. Now, you're always doing them for your teammates, but that's just another 5,000 people that you're doing something for, because you can't help but lift yourself up.
Final thing, Debray, training. He's up at the academy in Kansas City with Sporting KC.
Yes.
He's now moved up there full time. How's he doing up there?
He's doing well.
He was at the game Saturday.
He's at the game Saturday. He still loves the Wings. He'd rather be here training with us, because over the break he got to do that. So he was on cloud 9 doing that. But no, it's a good move for him, because it allows him to experience everything within the academy now. Whereas before we were driving up 3 days a week, and so he would miss some things that they would do on Mondays, and if they had something on Fridays, he'd miss that. And so it just allows him to be fully immersed in the academy atmosphere.
Starting this year too, we talked about academies before you came on, and academies are now going to a 10-month session a year.
Yeah.
So all these kids that are high school age aren't going to be able to, if they want to continue and be a big part of the academy like DeBray is, they're getting the right training. I mean, they're in front of the right people there, no doubt. But they're going to have to not be involved in the high school game because of that, correct?
Right. Correct. That's correct. And that's hard for people that aren't, I don't want to say committed, but for lack of a better word, committed to a sport, to understand, because high school is such a big thing in this part of the country, and so when you tell people that, he won't play high school, he won't play high school, you get that, but for what he wants to do and where he wants to get with his soccer, it's the best thing for him.
Yeah, it absolutely is. You're right. He's blessed to have that opportunity this is his dream, and he gets an opportunity to follow it and be in front of the right people. Right. So that's golden for DeBray.
All right, LeBaron Hollimon, head coach of the Wichita Wings here in town. This weekend, Milwaukee Wave, the top team in the entire MISL right now, come to town for Friday and Saturday night games. Both 7:35 o'clock kickoffs at Hartman Arena. LeBaron, thanks again.
Sure, thank you. I always love being here. You guys are great.
All right,
including Blake.
Yeah,
thank you. Appreciate that.
He's the best for the show, because he's always keeping us going.
There you go.
Yeah, well done.
Everybody needs a slice of my momentum.
All right, we'll take another break here on 316 Soccer Show. When we get back, Wichita Wings goalkeeper Sinaldo Freitas de Carvalho. We'll check my pronunciation when we get back here on 316 Soccer Show.